Thank you very much for this interview for Scrolls of Darmot. We met almost 3 years ago online, and now we meet face to face. What happened with Svoid in those 3 years?
Well, in the last few years it was a complete transformation and change into something new. Our meeting back in 2016 was sort of like in the middle of our touring, when we just released the Storming Voices of Inner Devotion album, which was already crossing through borders and edges. And for us it was just the beginning. And basically when our tour with Abysmal Grief was done, because that was one of our highlights during this eon, we were like, our target was accomplished and we are ready to something new. It was really overwhelming for us, both physically and mentally, to deal with this pressure what this album gave to us, personally for me, because there are a lot of inside that album from our past and future, which is sealed. But then it opened new pathways for us. We were always at a stage where we can just unleash what is within and we can just march it through. That was the aim, and with this we were not yet able to realize and understand what will happen to us, because that's a natural transformation to a band, and we just let our influences put all of the impact on us as persons and as a band, as an entity, as a context, what we have a close relation to, a strong core connection. And musically this was a new level for us. We just started to extend our views and let our influences unfold. And after a long silence, it was the Spiral Dance for us, a new EP what we assembled, the two of us. And yeah, that's it. A long story short, we are a new band, but at the same time we are more Svoidish than ever. That is really the Storming Voices what we just unfolded in the last few months on stage and on material finally.
You mentioned those changes and the long period of silence after which you emerged with Spiral Dance. Spiral Dance has 4 tracks, 2 new, 1 reworked and 1 cover. Is that reworked version of Long I've Gone the link with the past? The means to put you in the present and in the future as well?
Yeah, basically that's not the only example from our career, let's put it like this, when we wanted to connect everything to nothing. So it was a good opportunity to us to just come up with something what we have already done and what we can express today, and we just cross it through in everything what we feel that we reflect as of now. So we wanted to do something which can really relate to our present, to our core, to our unbound progression. Obviously this was a huge challenge, but that song, Long I've Gone, had so many things, and it was really a close and intimate moment what we could really transform to something new. We were able to show something which was not yet existing in the original black metalish expression. It's more like a a ballad, if you want. That structure, the lyrics and the words, all of the reverberations are connected to us, and that is its new shape, and we are really, really overwhelmed by both of them. But for now, that is happening for us.
When you decided to make this change, this musical change, did it ever cross your mind to change the name of the band as well? Or you just thought to give it a try with the old name and keep some parts of the past with you and just march on a new path?
Yeah, we were constantly challenging ourselves with this transformation.
Yes, if someone looks through the albums, all the releases we've done, then every release is different, and it is a huge progress, not musically, but in a totally natural way. So, if a genre switch or a genre changing is occurring, then it is also part of our biography and our lives. In the first album and in the second album, between them, there is also a huge difference in in the way of musical expressions. So, what can I say about it? It was the next. Just for us, it was only the next step.
The next.
Yes, it felt more natural in this way. With Long I've Gone, there was always another song in the original song, so it already contained this song. We just played it in a different way. I mean, like jazz musicians play one night and the other night, a little changes, but for my view, it's already the same. So I cannot see them as different as the music listeners. It is all natural.
Yep, I have the same feeling when we are talking about, and this was basically the point where we convinced ourselves that what we are doing now does not really mean something new, a new label, because that's really the same. And when we approached Storming Voices of Inner Devotion, it was already an aim to express ourselves and declare what we do believe in. And basically those are the aspects and attributes what all of the mainstream songs are doing. And actually the structure that we have taken over was already approaching something new. And this last shift to clean vocals meant everything to the audience, and it was the least change for us.
Definitely.
So this is just a small connection between that past and this present. But for all of the followers or all of the people from the scene, it was really an extreme differentiation between two bands. So that was just a new thing for them. But for us, the songs, the melodies, all of the the core, the essence is the same. And if I can say that this is more declarative than ever.
I'm really glad that you pointed that out, because I wanted to ask you about the message, if you changed the message a bit with the new approach, or you still kept the old one. And you mentioned the challenges with the shifting to the new vocal style. How much of a challenge was that for you, from the black metal singing to the to the clean vocal style?
Maybe I can just start with the message, that level of degree, what we just established. I have a personal problem with the scene. Most of the black metal bands are hiding their message.
Hiding too much.
Hiding too much, and this is so obscure, which has a mean. But then the message, the words, the declaration, the that poison which should be there is not crossing its path, then personally I cannot really relate to that. That is the thing what I really miss from today's scene, and that's not a clear separation that, well, I don't want to take part of it. We had its past. We had black metal bands what we just killed 2 years ago. But for Svoid it was always to follow its inner voice, and on the declaration it was always inevitable. That was always an aim, and this structure, these songs, these musical attributes and properties what we do have, these tools can really express what we want to say and what we would like to do. And coming to the clean singing part, we really challenged ourselves since 2013. That was the first point when we started to do some sort of clean singing. We had guest vocalists on stage. We had quite some tools what we just put slowly, and these were some decorations on the songs. For instance, one of our most obscure song, Nightless Moon Mistress, had clean vocal parts just to add some synth-like atmosphere, but it was already something what we were started. And then our single, The Devil's Blood, came, which is clearly a point of no return to black metal fans, if you want to call it like that. For us it was truly something, it meant a lot, and it still means a lot. And there we use also clean singing, that, well, we do not want to hide this. We do not want to hide these words, which are spoken not by me, but through. So it was just the next step. You know, Storming Voices of Inner Devotion already had its catchy additional vocals.
Yeah, definitely, and rhythms as well.
There were signs for this.
Yep. And to Spiral Dance, that was just a shortcut to connect the two things together.
Yeah, for some it might be quite a shock, but for those who listened to the last album, to the previous album, the similarities are there, and especially in the guitar playing and the drum pattern and stuff, they are there, but they have just to be, pointed out. And this happened with Spiral Dance, which brings me to the fourth track on this EP, which is the cover of Gravenhurst, The Velvet Cell. I really like the beginning of the song, which is I quote, in order to understand the killer, I must become the killer. Does this means that you killed Svoid, the old Svoid, and bring it back to life in a new form? This is why you chose this song?
Well, we for the outside world, for all of the external bodies, it seems that we always kill our past. But with this killing, with this murderer, we just connect all these things together, and we link it to this lawless becoming, what we just established for ourselves. And this is not just a selfish thing or an artistic
art-ish
expression or level of degree of expressing ourselves. This is truly something what really connects us as people, as core inside, but also marches and shows path for us until the circle is broken. And coming to the progression part on vocals, that's exactly the same. We always kill a past at a level, but we then immediately accept these new challenges, which is really needed if you want to keep the invisible flames alive. That really challenges me as person and as an artist. And this is what I am eager to express, and let everything to just collapse, which is not needed anymore.
Cool. This is really, really interesting. And it brings me to my last question, which is kind of a general question. What can we expect from Svoid in the future, and what are your future plans, you know, besides this show that will take place tonight?
Obvious question.
Yes.
Is it?
Obvious but unplanned to accept from you. Well, I am not prepared for this question. I was never planned for this question at all, and I cannot tell you what is next. Certainly we have our tools for the forthcoming material. We started the composition of new songs. We play them live. There are a few snapshots for the audience, for our fellows who join us at certain shows. There are just a few, but that is really passionate for us to just let these things happen to all of us, to give ourselves and join for a spiral dance. This year will most likely bring us to a new release, at least on the composition and recording part. We are challenging ourselves with all of these things. And, well, for us personally there are a lot other to cope with, but for Svoid it will be definitely a new thing. Our live lineup is also established. We can show what is next and what do we believe in, which is always a passionate hunger for death and void. That is for sure coming, and it is thousandfold. It has millions of faces, and we are still formless.
Cool. Looking forward for the future. Thank you very much, guys, for this interview. I know that you are ready to prepare for the show. So I will wrap it here, and see you on stage.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your words and for the interview as well.
Thank you too.
Thanks.